I'm really excited to be here, and thank you very much for showing up, because I get to talk to you about some new ways that we've invented to help you guys make more money, that I can use to make more money as well. And so what we'll do is we'll take a look at the monetization landscape as it is right now. And then we'll talk about a couple things that Amazon has introduced that will help you, one, make money for every minute that every user spends in your app. We'll talk about how that works exactly. And then we're going to talk about some additional ways you can build a new revenue stream and help bring people into your app and increase your brand awareness. So without any pause, let's get started with why Amazon cares about this. Well, Amazon has an app store for Android and Fire OS devices. And we would really like more developers to start businesses and submit their apps to our app store. And if we want them to do that, they've got to be able to stay in business. And so what Vision Mobile has done here, Vision Mobile has created the concept of an app poverty line. The app poverty line is simply, do you make enough money on your last app to fund development of your next app? They figured for a small indie developer, that's probably about $500 a month. The number of apps that are over the app poverty line is different depending on what market you're targeting, but it's between 40 and 60%. That's not good enough. Actually, that's actually worse than opening a new restaurant in New York City. So the odds are fairly low that you'll be able to make a business out of it. And we need to improve that. So when we went out and talked to developers, what we found, well, actually we've got a conference half full of people addressing these questions. How do you get discovery? And how do you monetize better? Well, we'll talk about discovery at another conference, but we've come up with some really cool things to help you monetize. So, the monetization options that are out there right now, you guys are familiar with most of them. Premium, in-app ads, we've got in-app purchases as well. And the problem with the freemium model, as most of you know, is that you get, at least on the Amazon App Store, about 3% of your downloads actually turn into paying customers. That's not monetizing a very large percentage of your customer base. Premium apps are great, but given that people have been trained to expect apps for free, it's really hard to get people to download a premium app, particularly when your premium app is breaking brand new ground and it may be a game that a lot of people aren't familiar with. In other words, if it's not another match 3 game, people might be reluctant to actually spend money on it just to try it out and see if they like it. Ads is a hard way to make a living. Very few people I know can actually make a living solely on ads. Although right after I finish talking, I think Google is going to come in and talk to you about how to actually squeeze a little bit more out of your ads, so that might be a good one to stick around for. So what do we do to try and add something to this model? Well, Amazon certainly supports in-app purchasing and ads and premium model. And a couple years ago, we released an API that lets you earn a commission on anything that you help sell through Amazon.com. But this year we've actually gone a little bit farther, and we've introduced Amazon Underground. Amazon Underground is what makes it possible for you to get paid for every single minute that every single user spends in your app. And we've also released Merch by Amazon. Merch by Amazon is a way that you can put your branding onto merchandise, like a t-shirt, and then make that available to customers and fans of yours with absolutely no out-of-pocket cost to you. So we'll talk about both of those. First, we're going to talk about Amazon Underground. What exactly is Amazon Underground? Well, it starts with your submitting your app to the program, and you submit it with no premium download cost, and you make all in-app purchases absolutely free. So yes, that's right. You will receive absolutely zero money from the person who downloads your app. Trust me, this is going to work out well for you. Are you with me so far? So what this results in is a really, honestly, truly free app for the customer. And so far, the customers that we did this in beta with and the customers we've had so far, they love getting actually free apps. Nobody's complained about this so far. As a matter of fact, they keep coming back to the Amazon shopping app to get more actually free apps. The nice part about that is when they come back to the Amazon App Store, they also buy hiking boots and sleeping bags and other things from Amazon that they would have purchased somewhere else. So Amazon is also getting a pretty good deal out of this. Now, Amazon is making a lot of money because we've got more customers coming back. The customers are getting actually free apps. What do you get? Well, that's where the whole paid per minute thing comes in. We actually keep track of every minute that every user spends in the app that they downloaded from Underground, and we pay you 0.2 of a cent for every minute, 12 cents for every hour that every user spends in the app. So if most of your Android customers come in through Amazon Underground, you can actually monetize all of the new users that you get through Amazon Underground. Okay, that's what it is. Let's talk a little bit about how it works. How it works is a customer will go to the Amazon shopping app, the same one that you use to download blenders and new sneakers and a pair of pants, and they search for an item and they go ahead and they download that item from the Amazon Underground app. Then we count how many minutes each user spends in the app. We send you a check of the minutes, total minutes, times 0.2 of a cent, and actually auto deposit that in your account every month. So that's how it works. Does it work for you and your game? Well, easy way to figure that out is actually by doing a back of the napkin calculation. So remember 0.2 of a cent or 12 cents an hour. And let's take a look at some of the basic data that you might get from your analytics package. So let's say in a given period, this given period, it doesn't really matter. It could be a week, it could be a month. In the case of my app, it's actually more like a year, but never mind that. The period doesn't matter. But you've got 10,000 users, and they spend 150,000 minutes in the app. You take the 150,000 minutes, you multiply it by 0.2 of a cent, and in Amazon Underground, that would have earned you $300. So if you're getting less than $300 from IAP revenue, you'd be better off with Amazon Underground. If you're getting more than $300 from your in-app purchasing revenue, don't go to Amazon Underground. Stay in the in-app purchase model that you've got right now. Now, if your analytics package doesn't tell you how many minutes every user is spending in your app, actually, if it doesn't tell you that, there are a whole bunch of people in the next building over there who would love to sell you their analytics package that will do that. But that aside, what you can do is you can work backwards from the amount of revenue that you're getting and the number of users you have. So you take those 10,000 users and you figure you're making $300 per period. Go ahead and divide the 300 by 0.2 of a cent per minute, and you get 150,000 minutes. Divide that by the 10,000 users if you got, and it turns out that if every user spends 15 minutes in your app, you'll break even with what your current IAP revenue is. If you think your users are going to spend more than 15 minutes in your app, then according to this example, you'd be better off with Amazon Underground. If you think they don't quite spend 15 minutes in your app per period, then you'd be better off sticking with in-app purchasing. So it's nice to be able to run the numbers yourself, but it's also really nice to have pretty cool graphs and charts. And I've got a couple of those. The first pretty graph and chart is also a Vision Mobile chart. It comes in two halves, a left half and a right half. The right half is aggregate data. The left half is data excluding apps that make over $50,000 a month. And basically what it is the average revenue per user, not average revenue per paying user, but the average revenue per user of different kinds of monetization models. On the left, we've got advertising, paid downloads, in-app purchase, freemium, and subscriptions. And what you can take away from this graph is, if you can get subscription revenue, my gosh, take it. Subscription revenue is great, isn't it? But what you can take away from this graph is, on aggregate, for all of us, you're getting a little bit over 6 cents per user per month if you do freemium. And if you just take a look at the apps that are earning less than $50,000 a month, you're actually back down to just a little less than 4 cents per month. a little less than 4 cents per month. When you look at it in terms of Amazon Underground, it's almost 19 minutes. Actually, just a little bit less than 19 minutes. So how long does it take you to get 19 minutes of use for users out of your app? Well, Amazon did a study in 2014, and we took a look at the top 50 apps versus all the rest of our apps. And we looked at sessions and usage data. What we found is that the top 50 in blue get a lot more session minutes, number of sessions per day, than the rest of us do in orange. But in orange, still, we have 5.7 minutes on average per session. We have on average 2.6 sessions per day. So we're averaging about 15 minutes a day, which means that you'll easily get the number you need in just 2 days. Okay, these are great colorful charts and they're great averages, but nobody's app is average. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, my apps are a little bit below average. So how is it going to work exactly for you? Well, fortunately, we have a calculator. I mean, I suppose I could have gone to this calculator right away and saved us a little bit of time, but it's fun to learn how to do the calculations on the back of the napkin. But if you go to bit.ly underground calculator, you can actually type in the numbers specific to each of your apps and find out whether or not you'd be better off in Amazon Underground on our App Store, or whether you'd be better off using Amazon in-app purchasing on our App Store. So we're not taking anything away from you. We're giving you an additional option for how to monetize, and we want you to use the one that'll make the most money for you. It's pretty cool. Now you've got another option on how to get paid. Pick the one that makes the most money, and it's all good. So who's on board already? We've got a bunch of people on board. Actually, a lot of the people on board, there was this beautiful animation, trust me, and it cycled through a lot of people's logos. You'll just have to imagine that up there as I speak. A lot of the people who are on board with this are actually fairly good at making money with in-app purchase as it is. So why would they come on board with Amazon Underground? Well, they ran the numbers. And while they make a good amount of money with in-app purchasing, they would make even more if they got paid 0.2 cents per minute, because the users actually spend that much more time in the game. So that's now it shows up as soon as I'm ready to change the slides. That's wonderful. To give you an idea of what a premium app looks like in Underground, here's what it looks like on a storefront. You can see DuckTales up there. It used to sell for $9.99. It's crossed out and it's free, so that the users see what an amazing value they're getting by getting your app on Underground. And they thank Amazon. They come back and they buy more stuff from Amazon, which is why we're doing this. And that works out really well. For the in-app experience itself, you can see that all of the IAP items are actually marked to 0. The way we would prefer you did this is if you left your in-app prices up there as it is now, and then just cross them out and put 0 next to it or below it. Because then that demonstrates very clearly to the user how much value they're getting from your participation in Amazon Underground. And hey, this used to be $9.99. I'm getting it for free, bang. And now they're getting something that's really going to help them be excited about engaging in your app. And if you've taken a picture of this, that's great. I'm not going to read the whole half-brick quote. But what they found is that they are doubling the amount of time that users are spending in the app, and they've doubled the revenue also, because more people are spending more time in the app now that they have full access to all of the IAP items. This is great. However, as exciting as that, to qualify, there we go. To qualify for Amazon Underground, first you have to have an Android app. We don't actually sell iOS apps on Amazon yet. And it needs to be a premium app or an app with in-app purchase in at least one of the other stores, either in iTunes or in Google Play. Developers anywhere in the world can take advantage of this as long as one of the marketplaces you sell into is either the US, the UK, Germany, or France. Those are pretty much the requirements. If you have a bunch of in-app purchase items and ads, you can certainly keep your ads in Amazon Underground. We'd like you to take them out to kind of reinforce the totally free thing, but you're allowed to keep the ads in there if you want to. Excellent. Now, I recognize you still need to sell your apps on other app stores as well. So how can I help you make money in other app stores? Well, we can do that with Merch by Amazon. Merch by Amazon is going to help you take your brand, put it on a t-shirt. We'll give you an Amazon.com product page for that. We'll handle inventory, we'll handle printing, we'll handle shipping, we'll handle returns, we'll handle all of that, and it won't take any out-of-pocket cost for you. The users will end up covering all of our expenses when they actually buy a shirt. So all you need to do is use our self-service tools to upload a logo you have or some of your game art. You need to pick which shirts you want the customers to choose from, pick what colors you want your logo printed on. Then you go ahead and set your price. You can also promote your shirt. One, we're going to give you a custom URL that will take customers directly to your shirt's product page on Amazon. We're also going to make it possible for you to run house ads for your t-shirt in your app. It's kind of cool. We have a small API that lets you do that. And it'll actually return an eCPM for you. So you know that if running a house ad for your shirt is making more money for you on shirt sales than it would be if you'd run a house ad for one of the regular ad network ads. And again, do whatever makes more money for you. If running a regular network ad makes more money for you than running an ad for your own shirt, well, maybe you should pick different art for the shirt or a different creative for your ad. But it doesn't matter. Do whatever makes more money for you. That's the bottom line here. So when they do see an ad, when a user does see an ad that you put in your app, and they click on that, they get taken directly to your Amazon.com product page. And this is what it would look like. The customer gets exactly the same experience with your shirt that they would if they're buying any other product sold by Amazon on Amazon.com, which includes Prime 2-day shipping for a lot of the world, hopefully soon for Israel. And they get that full Amazon experience. This is great. Amazon pages convert better than pages from just about any other online retailer. So we're really going to be helping you sell your shirt. Okay, how do we price that? How do we get all of the numbers in? Well, it works like this. Once you pick whether you print one-sided or two-sided, how many shirts you want to do, you can be anywhere from a size 4 youth to a 3XL large. You go ahead and set your price. We recommend $19.99. Amazon takes a 15% listing fee from that to cover our expenses. The cost to us for printing this particular shirt, which is a one-sided basic t-shirt, is $8.10. So what's left over for you is $8.89. Now, if you sell a whole bunch of these shirts, our cost of printing goes down. And that means you actually get the benefit of that. So if you actually sell 200 shirts, we'll actually lower our cost to, by $1 so that your actual royalty would increase by $1. And you can play around with that. If you just want customers wearing your brand around, that's great. Lower that to the minimum price of $8.10, and you're good to go. Now, I recognize that if you're in the middle of making a game and trying to release your game to an app store, you're thinking, why on earth would I take any of my time away from coding to actually send some artwork up and create a t-shirt? Well, one, you probably already have the artwork. It won't take that long to put it in the template and send it up there. And two, one of the things that developers told us they had problems with was discovery, brand awareness that their app even exists. So if you have a t-shirt, you can help address some of these problems. First of all, you can actually keep the proceeds. So you can actually add a new revenue stream to your business by actually selling the shirts. But it's also a great way to help users in your game recognize accomplishments. I mean, when you run a marathon, right, you get a shirt that says you completed the marathon because completing a marathon is a big deal, right? Well, maybe beating the boss at level 20 is a big deal. Let your users celebrate that with a shirt. Maybe, runners think Nike is cool just because it's cool. Maybe your users think your app is cool. Let them wear your branding around. It's actually going to help you get a lot more exposure. It actually has no cost to you. It's only as hard as uploading a graphic. So why wait? Have a t-shirt available on Amazon.com when you release your game. It'll help promote your game outside the app and give you a little bit more brand recognition than you would have had otherwise, all at no out-of-pocket cost for you. So these are the two new ways that Amazon has introduced this year for you to help, maybe make a little bit more money. Obviously, Amazon Underground, earning money for every minute they spend in your app. Merch by Amazon. And guys, if you have any interest in getting more information, please take a picture of this slide. And if you've liked this presentation, please go ahead and fill out our survey at Connect Tel Aviv, bit.ly Connect Tel Aviv. If you didn't like the presentation, all right, my name is still Mike, and I still want you to go to bit.ly Connect Tel Aviv and let us know what you would rather see or what you have more interest in seeing us present in the future. Thank you so much for your time. I know I've completely run out of time for Q&A because I've just gone over. I'll be available outside the building or outside the room for Q&A so that we can make sure we address all of your concerns. Guys, thank you very much.